Your car is lying to you. Every single day it performs a silent, perfect magic trick. You press the accelerator, and without a sound, without a jolt, you move. The gears change with the smoothness of a thought. It's a miracle of modern engineering, a luxury we've not only been taught to expect, but that we pay for. But it's a lie. A beautiful, expensive, and incredibly fragile lie. Because that seamless perfection you feel, that is the sound of your car slowly killing itself. Hidden beneath your feet, a secret war is being fought. Not a war of parts, not a war of brands. It's a war against the fundamental laws of our universe. A war your transmission is fighting every second you drive. And here's the most shocking part. It is a war it was designed to lose. Your transmission isn't failing because of a bad part. It's failing because modern engineers have declared war on the laws of physics. And physics is about to win. But what if you could see this war? What if you could peel back the steel and plastic and look at the world in its true language? Not the language of mechanics, but the language of energy. The language of heat.
We point a thermal camera at a modern SUV's transmission after just a 10-minute drive around the block.
And what we see is absolutely shocking. The screen explodes. It's not just warm. The transmission case is a blazing heart of angry red and white, a star of pure thermal energy burning in the darkness.
A digital thermometer paints a terrifying number on the screen. 220 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than boiling water. It's a temperature high enough to cook food.
And it is a temperature that is actively, aggressively accelerating the death of this machine. This image reveals the first secret of this hidden war. The enemy isn't a faulty gear or a bad sensor. The enemy is invisible. The enemy is heat, pure, raw, destructive heat. There's a terrifying rule of thumb in chemistry, a law of the universe called the Arrhenius rate rule.
It whispers a deadly secret. For every 18-degree Fahrenheit increase in temperature, the speed of many chemical reactions can roughly double.
Think about it. Food spoils faster on the counter than in the fridge. Why? Heat.
The heat speeds up the chemical reactions of decay. Inside your transmission, the exact same thing is happening.
The reaction is degradation, breakdown, the molecular death of the fluid that is your transmission's lifeblood. So, when you see 220 degrees on that screen, you're not just seeing a number. You are seeing a countdown timer. You are seeing the very system that gives you that smooth, quiet ride, creating the very conditions that will utterly destroy it. The conflict is baked into the design. Our desire for comfort is at war with reality. And every single day, with every single drive, the heat is winning. To understand how deep this betrayal goes, you have to understand the impossible job we give to a single, humble liquid. The automatic transmission fluid, the ATF. It looks so simple. A bright, clean, ruby red liquid. But this fluid is one of the most complex, overworked, and tortured substances in any machine on Earth. It doesn't just have one job. It has 3 impossible jobs it must do at the exact same time.
In the exact same place, its first job is to be muscle. It is a hydraulic fluid.
Imagine a massive, intricate city carved inside the transmission's brain, the valve body, a labyrinth of tiny tunnels and pathways.
Some narrower than a human hair. The ATF is forced through these channels under immense pressure, hundreds of pounds per square inch. It flows into tiny cylinders, pushing on pistons that act like powerful hydraulic fingers, clamping down on clutch packs to engage a gear. It's liquid force. To do this, the fluid must be incredibly thin, able to move instantly and precisely through microscopic passages.
Any thicker and the shifts would be slow and clumsy. Its second job is to be a shield. It is a lubricant. Inside that gearbox, planetary gears with dozens of razor-sharp teeth are spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute. Bearings are carrying incredible loads that could crush steel. Without protection, this high-speed dance of metal on metal would turn into a screaming, grinding catastrophe in less than a second.
The ATF creates a microscopic film, a barrier of molecules just a few atoms thick, that separates every single moving part.
It prevents them from ever actually touching. It's a force field of liquid armor. To do this job, the fluid needs to be thick, strong, and resilient, clinging to metal surfaces with unbelievable force. Do you see the problem?
The perfect hydraulic muscle is thin. The perfect lubricant shield is thick. This one liquid has to be both, a physical contradiction.
But wait, it gets so much worse. Its third and most brutal job is to be a firefighter. It is a coolant. Every single action inside a transmission generates friction.
And friction generates heat. But the biggest fire of all comes from a device called the torque converter. Think of it as two fans facing each other inside a sealed, oil-filled donut. The engine spins one fan,
Which blasts a hurricane of fluid at the second fan, causing it to spin and turn the wheels. But here's the catch. They are not mechanically connected. There's always a bit of slip, especially at low speeds. Or when you're accelerating gently, that slip is pure, violent friction. And in the world of physics, friction is just another word for heat. Immense, concentrated, relentless heat. The ATF must absorb this fire, swallow it whole.
carry it away from the delicate clutches and gears, and race it to a cooler to vent it into the atmosphere.
It has to run into a burning building, absorb the inferno, carry it outside, and then rush back in for more. Thousands of times a minute. A hero doing 3 impossible jobs at once. But here's the tragedy. The heat from its job as a firefighter actively destroys its ability to be a shield and a muscle.
As the temperature skyrockets, the fluid gets thinner and weaker. Its protective film as a lubricant wears away, letting metal get dangerously close to metal. Its pressure-holding ability as a hydraulic fluid falters, leading to sloppy, delayed shifts.
The hero is being poisoned by the very fires it is trying to put out.
Prolonged exposure to killer temperatures pushes the fluid past its chemical breaking point.
And when a hero dies, what's left behind? A monster. For decades, we thought transmissions failed because a part broke, a gear stripped, a seal failed, a solenoid burned out. We would replace the part, pay the $1,000 bill, and for a while everything would be fine. But we were just treating the symptoms. We were ignoring the ghost in the machine. We were ignoring the chemical monster being born from the ashes of our dead hero fluid. What happens when the superfluid, the ATF, is cooked for too long? It doesn't just get thinner.
It begins a slow, horrifying chemical decay. It oxidizes. It's a quiet, creeping death at the molecular level.
The beautiful ruby-red liquid begins to turn a sickly brown, then a muddy burnt black.
Its long, complex polymer chains, the very molecules that give it strength, are violently torn apart by the relentless thermal energy.
And as they break down, they don't just disappear. They transform. They are reborn as two evil things. Varnish and sludge. Varnish isn't just dirty oil. It's a sticky, stubborn, semi-solid lacquer.
A golden-brown plague that plates itself onto every surface it touches, insulating parts that need to stay cool.
And gumming up parts that need to move. It's the ghost of dead fluid, haunting the machine.
Sludge is what happens next. It's the collection of these broken-down molecules mixed with microscopic bits of metal and clutch material,
Forming a thick, gritty, demonic paste that settles in the low-pressure areas of the transmission, waiting to cause chaos. Now, let's go back to that city of tunnels inside the valve body. Let's zoom in, past the main channels.
to a single, tiny component, a linear solenoid. It's an electromagnetic plunger, a tiny piston no bigger than your pinky finger. Its job is to move back and forth with micron-level precision, opening and closing a tiny gate to control the flow of fluid pressure.
It does this hundreds of times a second. It is a brain cell of the transmission. The key to that smooth shift you love. But look closer. That piston is coated in a sticky, golden film. Varnish. One day, the computer commands it to move, but it doesn't. Or it moves too slowly. It's stuck, glued in place by the dead remains of the very fluid it was meant to control. A mechanical stroke. That single microscopic failure translates into a violent jolt you can feel in the driver's seat. A harsh shift that slams you back in your seat. A terrifying shudder under acceleration. A moment of hesitation when you pull out into traffic. You feel a mechanical problem, but it's not.
It's a chemical catastrophe. The machine is being haunted. The tiny passages in the valve body get clogged with sludge, starving parts for pressure. The clutch packs, designed to be bathed in clean fluid, are now coated in a gritty, Abrasive paste that grinds them down, accelerating their death. This isn't a parts failure. This is a system failure.
Triggered by a materials science disaster. The lifeblood has turned to poison. The very heart of the machine is being cooked alive, slowly from the inside out by an enemy we invited in for a smooth ride. But what if this war was a choice? What if some engineers chose not to fight physics, but to listen to it? What if they decided to make peace? For decades, the industry's answer to transmission heat was management. Bigger coolers, more complex software, more resilient, expensive synthetic fluids. These are all tactics for fighting the war. They are bigger shields, better armor, more medics on the battlefield. But the war rages on, and the bills for the fallen keep coming. One company, however, took a radically different approach. Honda. Their philosophy wasn't to manage the heat. It was to prevent its creation at the source. They looked at the biggest fire in the transmission, that slipping, heat-generating torque converter, and they didn't just try to cool it down. They tried to put the fire out entirely. Their solution is a work of genius in its simplicity, a peace treaty with physics.
Many modern transmissions use something called a torque-converter lockup clutch. It's a mechanism that can create a direct, one-to-one mechanical link between the engine and the transmission, bypassing the fluid slipping stage entirely. This eliminates the friction, and thus, the heat. It is a common strategy across the entire industry.
But how you use it is everything, and Honda's application of this strategy is what sets them apart.
They chose to engage this lockup clutch as early, as aggressively, and as often as humanly possible. Imagine two spinning plates. Many car designs allow these plates to slip against each other for a longer period of time,
Creating that sensation of a perfectly smooth, syrupy, almost lazy acceleration. But that slip is a bonfire of wasted energy and heat.
Honda's approach is more like a firm, decisive handshake. As soon as it's practical, their system locks the two plates together.
The connection is made, the slip is gone, and when the slip is gone, the fire goes out. It's a profound shift in thinking. Instead of building a more complex fire department, they designed a more fire-resistant building.
By generating less baseline heat, the entire system operates in a friendlier, cooler environment. The fluid isn't constantly fighting a 5-alarm fire.
It's dealing with a manageable campfire. It can survive, it can do its 3 impossible jobs without being cooked to death. This isn't about adding more technology, it's about a deeper respect for the invisible laws that govern everything. It's not a declaration of war on thermodynamics, it's a treaty of peace. But theories are one thing, philosophy is another. We needed to see the truth with our own eyes. We needed proof, observable, undeniable visual proof. We needed a trial by fire.
Here are 2 simple, clear glass beakers. In this one, we pour a leading competitor's automatic transmission fluid, a high-quality, respected, fully synthetic brand. In the other, a sample of Honda's own specially formulated fluid. Both are clean, bright, and red. They look nearly identical. A casual observer would see no difference.
But now, we are going to do something terrible to them. We are going to put them on a precision hot plate and subject them to a controlled torture test, heating them to around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's be absolutely clear, this
is an extreme stress test. This temperature exceeds typical operating temperatures, but it will accelerate time, showing us in just a
few minutes what takes thousands of miles to happen deep inside a transmission. It is a test of character, a test
of chemical resilience, a test of survival. We begin, the temperature climbs, 150 degrees, 200, 220 degrees, the temperature we saw on the SUV. Both fluids are still holding strong, but we keep going. 250, 275, and now we see a
change. The competitor's fluid. Watch. The color is shifting. The bright red is darkening, turning to a muddy, ugly brown.
Small bubbles begin to form. It's starting to boil and break down. The molecular chains are snapping under the thermal assault.
As it nears 300 degrees, the transformation is catastrophic. It looks like burnt coffee. A dark, ugly sludge is forming at the bottom of the beaker. This fluid has failed. It is dead. Now, look at the Honda fluid. The temperature is the same, the trial is the same, the abuse is the same. But the result is not the same. It is darkened, yes. No fluid is invincible, but it remains translucent. It remains a liquid. There is no sludge. There is no catastrophic breakdown. It has endured. It has survived.
What you are seeing is not magic. It is chemistry. It's the result of a superior additive package, a formulation designed from the ground up for extreme thermal stability. But it's more than that. It's the result of a holistic philosophy. This fluid was designed to work inside a system that respects physics. One fluid was designed to heroically manage a ton of heat. The other was designed to thrive in a system that simply creates less of it to begin with.
One is a soldier, sent to a brutal, endless war and is guaranteed to lose. The other is a peacekeeper, sent to a place where peace was already the goal. So what have we learned today? The smooth, silent shift of your automatic transmission is not a simple thing. It is the end result of a dramatic, invisible story. A story of human decisions, of genius, of compromise, and sometimes of hubris. It's the story of an epic battle between our desire for comfort and the unblinking, unforgiving laws of the universe.
We've learned that the most expensive failures don't start with a bang, but with a whisper. A slow, creeping rise in temperature. A silent, chemical decay that gives birth to ghosts and monsters inside the machine. We've learned that often. The best engineering
Isn't the most complex. It's the most clever. It's the design that avoids the fight altogether. The failure of a modern transmission is rarely just a broken part. It is a broken promise. The promise that we can outsmart physics, that we can force nature to bend to our will with more power, more complexity, more technology. We can't. We can only negotiate the terms of our surrender. The key, the final piece of the puzzle, is this: to judge a piece of technology not by the features it offers, but by the respect it shows for the invisible world. Don't just ask what it does. Ask how it honors the laws of thermodynamics. Ask if it is fighting a war it is destined to lose, or if it has found a way to make peace. Now you see the hidden truth, the invisible battle being fought in millions of cars, every single day. If you want to uncover more engineering secrets and join a community that understands how things really work, subscribe to our channel. The world is full of invisible stories just like this one, and we're here to make them visible.